It's been 5 years, half a decade since Breath of the Wild released. And guess what? Yep, you guessed it, I've got more things for you. If you continue to enjoy this series and want to see more from us, let us know with a like. Alright, here we go. One of the biggest new discoveries found this year is Item Transmutation, allowing you to turn any material into something else. By item hold smuggling 5 materials into your hands, selling the rest off so you have none left, it carries over the holding 5 items value onto whatever stackable material you want, including Korok seeds and shrine orbs. This is the first discovery of SRM, also known as stale reference manipulation in Breath of the Wild, although nothing nearly as game-breaking as something you would see in Ocarina of Time. You've seen Triforce designs everywhere, especially at the Temple of Time. The front and rear walls, the floor, it's pretty hard to miss. But there's one that you might not have really seen. If you take a closer look at the floor of the building in front of the temple, there's a signature of Din, the Triforce of Power. Looking at the floor of the other two, you'll find barely legible symbols of Nehru and Feyrora as well. These 3 on the map all laid out show that this is the full Triforce symbol, facing southward pointing to the entrance of the Temple of Time. If you can't see the symbols clearly in Breath of the Wild, hop on over to Age of Calamity. You'll see them there plain as day. You've probably heard the music in shrines hundreds of times before, but have you actually paid attention to how it works? On the Japanese Nintendo website, they explain, unlike most standard songs that loop over and over, shrines have unique music with special quote-unquote phrases that are randomized over the time that you're exploring. That's why when you enter the same shrine multiple times, you'll basically never hear the exact same song over and over. It's a little bit tricky, but these Goron pots answer the age-old question of can you pick up something you're standing on? Yes. If timed perfectly, Link will pick up the pot he's standing on and launch himself into the air. Although I don't think that's how that works in real life. Did you know that these types of candles can be lit? Many interactable torches in Hyrule Castle come unlit, and can give the Sanctum a really different vibe when all of them are turned on. Did you know that Blupees conduct electricity? Link has a high resistance to fire when it's raining, such as against burning grass, but this applies to other fire effects as well, such as during a Flame Lizalfo's Flame Breath, which will have no effect on Link. Most players know that Fire Choo-Choo and Keys die when exposed to rain, but most people forget that Choo-Choo jellies are just portable water balloons, and when struck near them, have the same effect. When selling items, the menu locks you out of weapons, bow and arrows, and shields, never allowing you to sell these items. But believe it or not, this equipment does have Rupee value in the game's code. These buying and selling values were likely implemented during testing, then removed in the final product. But you can still see these values in the game's code, such as the Traveler's Sword, worth 5 rupees to sell and 20 to buy. The Savage Lionel Bow, worth 52 rupees and 156 to buy, and the Radiant Shield, worth 52 rupees and 210 rupees to buy. This is more of a quick tip, but many players when trying to start a fire on a hill, throw the wood first, then try to quickly light it, often rolling away. Rather, do it the other way around. Shoot the ground with a fire arrow first, then throw the wood on top of it. It's a much faster way to ignite the wood. Or a funny trick is to hold smuggle a burning weapon, then throw the wood. It'll auto-light as soon as it lands. Here's an older trick some players don't know. It's possible to run around with the horse permanently on ice or on fire. By using an old method of shooting your own horse as you drown from gliding far away, or using the new Campfire method with enemy horses, you can have the horse permanently on fire or frozen. This horse, just like with similar glitches, makes him immune to fire. So if you have the patience to get the horse to Death Mountain, you can ride around freely in the burning air. Everyone's heard of bullet time bounces, but you can do this to certain other items besides Link. The easiest way is to wait until a bokoblin lifts a rock, then freeze it in bullet time, then watch the fireworks unfold. Everyone knows that you can fire bows while on horseback, but what you may not have noticed is that every bow is changed to have the exact same fire rate. This can be a buff or a nerf depending on the bow. For example, the Royal Guard's bow has the fastest fire rate in the game, and on Horseback is nerfed pretty severely. While on the other hand, the Ancient bow fires relatively slow, but is increased on Horseback at this special fire rate. Did you know that it's possible to damage enemies with a backflip? This is more consistent with low-level bokoblins. With a well-timed backflip, you can take them out unarmed. Tarrey Town's central bell is a unique magnetic object. Try using magnesis on the bell. It will actually make a ringing noise. Or shooting it with projectiles to swing it back and forth will work as well. There were many crystals and minerals in Breath of the Wild, including sapphire, ruby, topaz, diamonds, and many more. But Revali carried one more stone that's technically in the game but was never usable: jade. Revali's hair ties and anklets are made of pure jade, but jade is found nowhere else in Hyrule. Have you ever wondered how the Great Plateau Tower had a gaping hole in the hill when you first found it? Well, apparently during the Calamity 100 years ago, Guardians fired stray shots into the mound, making the hole that you see today. Some people still haven't noticed that during the Champions Ballad DLC cutscenes, the champions all perform their signature key art pose at some point.
The almighty Daruk!
Out of respect for our princess, you may keep your lives.
These poses are also the chosen pose for all of the champion amiibos. The final design of the ancient Bladesaw is based mostly on the rough design of a chainsaw, but during development they had a slightly different idea, with 3 separately rotating blades. This was probably inspired by the real-life saw like this, in a profession called aerial tree trimming, where helicopters use these multi-rotating blades to cut trees from above. When you fire a shock or fire arrow at an object, it will carry those properties for a moment with the object. This counts basically any object that can be shot, such as materials, your own bombs, and even rupees, which slide extremely far and can carry your fire into enemy territory. Here's some nifty things that mentions the final boss, so spoiler heads up for any recent new players. I've shown before with the Lionel's Fireball so you can counter it with any ice attack, but this includes many other fireball attacks, such as the Wizrobe's Fireballs, Fireblight's normal and shotgun style fireball, and even Calamity Ganon's deadly explosive fireball right out of his hands. Breath of the Wild speedrunners have drilled this any percent trick into their head for years, stun locking Ganon with a two-handed slam over and over to cheese Ganon. But did you know that Nintendo completely knew about this trick and wrote new codes around it with the release of Master Mode? This trick, as many know, doesn't work on Master Mode, and only on Normal Mode because of this specific set of code here, ruling out that if the hardcode manager flag, aka Master Mode, and other small conditions are true, Stunlock is patched. But if it's false, then this allows players to stun Ganon over and over. Why is this Stunlock purposely left in the game? I'm pretty sure Papa Nintendo is watching the speedrunners. Happy 5-year anniversary, Breath of the Wild. Hopefully the sequel will arrive soon, where we can continue the series on there. If you enjoyed this video, we still continue to make new videos about Breath of the Wild to this day, so stick around. For everything else gaming, keep it here on GameSpot.